So it has been 1 week now since the mass shooting at Old National Bank right here in downtown Louisville. It claimed the lives of 5 innocent people. And one woman knows all too well what the survivors are going through. Whitney Austin survived a mass shooting at the Fifth Third Center in Cincinnati nearly 5 years ago. And we're going to have a very important conversation with her here today. And Whitney, it's my first time getting to meet you and already hear your powerful story. And I just know our viewers are going to benefit from this because I think everybody is beyond frustrated, angry, ready to do something. And I feel like you have said so much over the past week that people need to hear. And thank you for being here. And what was your reaction when you heard the news last week?
At first, I didn't want to believe it, trying to find every excuse for the fact that it wasn't another mass shooting. And then once it was really clear that it was a mass shooting and that the circumstances were so similar to my own, it was really emotional. But I've been doing this work for nearly 5 years now, and I know how important it is to provide hope to people, to provide solutions to people. So I did what I often do, which is try to compartmentalize my grief and my pain to be the leader that I hope I can be in this moment and bring people together and to affect change.
One way that you've been a great leader throughout the last 5 years is pulling together the Whitney Strong Foundation. For people that may not be familiar, where did that come from? And what do you hope that this foundation will do now more than ever?
Believe it or not, when I was being shot, one of the thoughts that I had was, why did I think I was immune to this? Why did I think I would never be a victim of gun violence? And so if I make it through this, if I get back home to my precious family, I'm going to do everything I can to make a change on this issue. And so that's where it all started. And really within 3 weeks of my shooting, we had established Whitney Strong. And so we were motivated, my husband and I, from the very beginning to make change, but to do it in a way that we hadn't seen yet represented, which was to build an organization that brings people together, gun owners, non-gun owners, Republicans, Democrats, making a safe space for everybody to work together, because it doesn't matter who you are no longer safe from this, and we will only make change when we come together.
I think just following you on Instagram, and I encourage everybody to follow you on Instagram because there's just been so many inspiring words, hopeful words, ways to get involved, and I think that's what people want to hear. But one thing that really struck me is that you found this lane where everybody agrees, right? Like it's almost like if you remove the politics from the situation, and that's what everybody wants, this is how we can make some change. This is how we can save lives. And that's been really important for you to stay in that lane.
Well, thank you. That's been very purposeful. We're all about progress. We're not about politics. And we're also about approaching this issue from a multitude of ways. Absolutely, we need to see bipartisan-led legislative change, but there are also things that we can do ourselves as individuals to make our community safer, to make us safer from mass shootings, to make us safer from accidents that happen in the home, to prevent suicide, which is actually the highest number of gun deaths that happen every year, and also to make our community safer from community violence. And so absolutely, we're about progress, we're about finding common ground, and I can't tell you how many minds have been changed through our organization, and that includes just everyday individuals that now think differently, all the way up to the highest levels with the passage of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And so I am an example and a testament of what happens when you try to find common ground. You can see progress, and I'm really, really proud of what we've been able to accomplish in the last 4.5 years, but I still get really emotional that it's not enough. It wasn't enough to stop what happened on Monday with Old National Bank. It wasn't enough to stop what happened this weekend with Chickasaw, and so we have so much work to do. Find hope with us, because when you have hope, you're willing to take action, and then change can come.
Where can people begin? Because I feel mad. I know you said you're mad, you're having nightmares. I know my son said, I'm having nightmares that something's going to happen near me, and there's high chances it could. And that is unacceptable. And I think people want to just, what is the first step to do something to feel like we're working together?
Yeah, you've already said it. The first step is to follow us. Go to @WhitStrong.org or go to WhitneyStrong.org. There you will find a multitude of options for you to participate. If you have the capacity to be a volunteer, then we can plug you into the solutions that we already have in place. If you don't have capacity to volunteer, then you can make a donation and support the people that are already on the ground doing the work. And then lastly, for those that are motivated by legislative change, I want to remind you that you have a voice. There are so many people that say, well, I don't have a right, or I don't know how to talk to elected officials. You absolutely have the right. We have templates out there, so emails that are easily sent through us. But I also encourage you to pick up the phone. If you know your elected officials within the state legislature, if you know your elected officials at the federal level, use your voice. Do it in a respectful way. Invite them to participate along with us, but use your voice. And don't forget, you know, in a week from now, maybe this is something that naturally falls out of your consciousness. Don't let it. We have got to keep raising our voices and working on solutions. If we are ever to get to this point where we feel safe again. You know, it's really hard for me. I'm a child of the 80s. I did not grow up worried about someone coming into my school and shooting me. I mostly didn't worry about my friends struggling with suicide. It's just a different world, and we have got to find a way to get back to a better world because everybody deserves to feel safe.
Whitney Austin, thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you for sharing your message, because everybody needs to hear it.
Thank you.
All right, so if you want to connect with Whitney or you want to get involved, just go to WhitneyStrong.org.